Are we on?
Awesome.
Is everybody here?
We have 12 participants, I see. If you go on the bottom.
How do you see that?
Yes.
Oh, I can't
Hi,
see.
12.
Oh.
Hi, 12.
12 participants.
I think that's us.
Oh.
Here we go.
Awesome.
I should post the link. That didn't even occur.
We are
Let's
live.
see.
We're
We are
live.
live. All right. Awesome. Good morning, or wherever, or whatever time of day, wherever you are in the world it might be for you, internet, HomeCon attendees. We have got a great panel for you this morning. I am Emma Fife, and I am so excited to be moderating the panel for the 100. I mean, look at all these women we have got joining us this morning. A bunch of queens, quite honestly, quite literally queens.
Literally
in their
queens.
crowns. You all came dressed for the occasion. You all came prepared with mimosas. I was actually thinking that when we had our rehearsal call the other day. I went, man, it's just like all these great ladies hanging out in the morning. I feel like it's like brunch, but it's
Totally.
Yeah, we
Pretty
didn't
much.
miss a beat on that.
a fancy brunch. So yes, to introduce our panel, we have got Rhiannon Fish, Tasia Tellez, Jessica Harmon, Chelsea Reist, Sarah Thompson, and Luisa de Oliveira. How are you all doing, ladies?
I woke up like this.
Jessica, I do want to point out, as you pointed out, I love your crown. It's got a little bit of a Where the Wild Things Are vibe, but also a little bit of like a Pope situation going on.
Striking Pope resemblance going on this morning. Because we decided we were going to make crowns. And for those of you at home, please make a crown while you're watching. We're corn queening.
Yeah, I was going to say, because Louisa, your crown's actually made out of foil, correct?
Right. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so basically no one has an excuse to not have a crown.
You can do whatever.
I printed out a picture of an emoji and then just kind of like fold
Oh,
it.
it is the emoji.
Oh, yeah.
I see that,
Oh,
Sarah.
that's smart.
Smart.
That's
Nice
awesome.
job.
Do that.
Not out.
But Rhiannon, I also like that you just went for like the OG Disney Queen.
Well, yes, it was all they had at the dollar store, and I thought it went with the sequins vibe as well. So it was the best. I'm doing the best. Working with what I got.
But honestly, that's what we're all doing right now. Is just like doing the best that we can.
Exactly. It's all you can do.
Yeah.
I could probably do better.
No.
But you clearly broke out the Christmas decorations, so that took work.
I have a question, because I don't
Yes,
see
Chelsea.
anyone in this chat but us still.
Yes, there is. Oh yeah, we've got 12,000 people watching right now, Chelsea.
Oh,
Wow.
then never mind.
Oh,
I was going to ask for a link that I could post.
Yeah, it is twitch.tv/HomeConOfficial. For those of you who are watching at home, feel free to spam that link, share
Are
it
you
with
posting
all
it
of the
now,
people
Chelsea?
Pardon me?
in all of
Are you sharing it now? I'll
I will.
retweet you.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just write that down.
Yes,
Look at
write that down.
Oh, this is
Twitch.tv/HomeConOfficial.
Twitch.tv/HomeConOfficial.
Yes. And those of you that are watching right now, once again, do remember that you can, we all weekend long are benefiting first responders first. We're raising money for them. So feel free to just follow the links that are down below the screen where you're watching if you want to donate. We've also got merch available, and we are doing one-on-one meet and greets with a lot of the guests. So some of those, I believe, are still available to book. So again, thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you to all of you for being here, ladies. What I was going to say is just to lead into things, we were talking about how everybody's just sort of doing the best that they can at this point.
Totally.
The chat is going crazy. There's rainbows, there's crowns, there's hype. People are very excited. I'm seeing a lot of Queen emotes dropping in there. That's what we like to see. So before we get into talking about the show a little bit, just how is everyone doing? We're in this weird situation where everyone's in relative isolation. Have any of you found that you've sort of had the energy to continue to stay creative? Has anyone gotten really into Pinterest projects, redecorating your home, baking? Louisa, why don't we start with you, since you crafted this beautiful crown?
I clearly have made at least one thing since I've been in quarantine. This is definitely the most dressed up I've been since we started. But I'm wearing the same pants I've worn for pretty much the last month.
Nice.
I've done a bit of creative stuff. I have a lot of half-finished projects. It's funny you didn't talk about creative. I started a painting, but I didn't finish, and it's been. I don't know how to paint.
I love you have it on that. You're like, mentioned that.
Honestly, it's been sitting on the kitchen table, so I can hopefully finish it for weeks, and I haven't done anything about it. So.
Just casually, a Louisa original is.
It'll be on sale, $19.95. I'll post the link when it's ready.
Oh, Louisa, that's a bargain, $19.95.
Yeah.
What about you, Jessica? Did you make this crown that you're wearing? Where did this crown come from?
Well, I'm really glad you asked. I pre-ordered this 4 months ago in anticipation that you guys would create this at-home convention.
Oh wow!
And it's look how delicate. It's we're in the middle of moving. All of our home furnishings and everything was shipped from Los Angeles to Vancouver in the midst of all of this. So then it descended upon us. And like, if I moved the computer, our house is just like exploded with boxes. So this is some paper that I believe once housed like a plastic cup from, we were there to pack our house. We hired people to go and do it. So they just packed everything, which now in hindsight, we couldn't go across the border, which is why we didn't do it ourselves. But but they packed things like they actually paper packaged a paper towel roll.
Mm-hmm.
You'd think pre-packaged.
Right.
Yeah, it kind of comes packaged in its own packet, but they're like, no, let's paper this shit up. So I took that and I just taped some glitter onto it, and
what did you draw? A little heart and a star? That's lovely.
It's really nice.
Star.
Good choices. Lovely.
Really, really
during
good choices.
During COVID, paper towel and toilet paper are a commodity. So
they really are a commodity. So I feel like, though, for all of you, because you've been living in the 100, you must feel like somewhat well prepared for society to collapse in some way.
You would think.
Pretend.
Taz, did you make your crown, or is this a?
This is made also out of tin foil.
Oh,
nice. Very
nice.
Really nice.
You did a better job with yours than mine.
That's really, like, I thought this was amazing. And like, I have emojis that I like.
Did you get tin foil, or where'd you get gold foil like that?
This is actually this I bought online. It's like some stuff that you can like peel. It's like peel and stick, so you can like.
Oh yeah.
And then this is duct tape, but it's smooth for some reason. I don't know what it's for. I found it at my mom's. But
Nice.
Rocky Recovery in the chat said that they thought your crown was metal. Actually, Taz.
Yeah, it does.
Metal.
Reads like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Great.
It definitely does. Sarah, I do like your emoji crown, though. That was very, very cool. I also get
it's printed on the inside is some sort of script or audition.
Pretty normal.
Yeah, that's the most sort of classic actor thing is as far as recycled paper goes. It's like, I don't know, these were audition sides maybe.
Yeah, it's always double printed.
Yeah. Always. I mean, but you know what? Better for the environment, right? You gotta preserve.
Totally.
So you guys are now. Listen, we're just gonna address something right off the bat here, which is that some of y'all are dead at this point on the show. Several people here, or at least have come to the end of their story. Chelsea, I feel like Harper, she got to kind of live a whole life.
But you can't get rid of me.
Chelsea just keeps on coming back. Yeah. And but I mean, going into the 7th and final season of the show. So, I feel like Emery, Louisa, she's like in a kind of okay place, like as far as things go, where you could end up, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of season 6, she's okay. She's not under intense threat necessarily. I feel like she's in a decent spot compared to a lot of seasons and the show in general. So I feel good about where she starts, I think.
Yeah, she's alive. And then alive. I mean, things were, Echo was involved in some event at the end of the last season that's a little unclear, I would say. Taz, how are you feeling, obviously without spoiling anything, about Echo's journey going forward?
I always love, like, obviously without spoiling everything. So we're asking about the event.
Yeah, just like the journey of where Echo is, where she ended in season 6, and sort of mentally where she's at going forward.
I mean, she's a person of service. She really kind of is somebody who, when she finds her family, she defends her family as much as possible, and she's a really strong warrior. So, she's pretty handy as far as survival is concerned, or whatever.
Sure.
But this planet, it brings threats that she's never encountered before, so she doesn't know how to get around them. And I think it's definitely like just destabilizing for her to not be able to feel strong and be like, I know what to do, or feel capable, because there's things that show up that she doesn't know it even exists. So
yeah,
that's where she ended at the end of the last season, is like in a bit of like what's going on here? These, like, there's some supernatural forces or something.
I was gonna say, I think her and also everybody else watching the show, quite honestly.
Yeah.
That is sort of the 100 in a nutshell, is like, here's another thing that you didn't know about before. Not in a bad way, just in like, this, what's happened on the ground runs pretty deep, I would say. Jessica, what about Nyla? Like, 'cause she's still around and kicking.
That's like the epitome of Nyla. You're still here? Yeah, she's here. I don't even know. I feel like season 7 was such and we obviously can't even speak about it yet, but it was such an intense year for us that I honestly couldn't even tell you where the hell I was at the end of season 6, because we're so far away from that in season 7. Like, so much happens in season 7. I'm like, what was that?
I think you were at the bar.
That sounds about right. Yeah. I feel like I ended a bar in season 7 as well. Nyla's just always at a bar. She's always been this. To be honest, like, my character wasn't supposed to last past an episode or 2. So the fact that she's hung in for 5 seasons has been quite wonderfully unexpected. And I think a lot of us had that same kind of vibe of like, you came for like a minute, and then the next thing you know, the rest of your life was spent there. It's awesome. Yeah, like a lot of the characters on Hunter, which is very cool. But yeah, she's been this constant kind of almost like a moral checkpoint, I find. And like, I don't know that that's noticed by any of the other characters, but I feel like she's just the one that's always kind of had a steady morale, and she's really there to build up other characters, which I really enjoyed. And like, for me, I've switched over to behind the camera in recent years, and directing has really become kind of a forefront for myself. So Nyla was the perfect character because the show was so wonderful and all the cast were friends of mine, that I was able to kind of switch seamlessly behind the camera, and everyone was loving and supportive of that. And I was able to kind of be there when I wasn't just acting, and watch and learn and kind of take part. And I feel like that kind of mirrored my Nyla's character, like on the show as well. She just was this constant thing that was always kind of around and like kind of got along with everyone. And
that's so interesting.
It was and then this season, without pardon me, my season this season she takes a bit of a different turn, which I feel like because they never really fully developed like a backstory or like a full storyline for her, the writers just started writing for me, so she becomes like really sassy this year. At certain points just like is like fuck it, and like just like is this year, so we're combining the two. So